Good morning. We bring you breaking news this hour. On a seemingly ordinary clear June day in 2023, under a bright and promising sky, little did anyone know that tragedy was about to strike. The date would forever be etched in the memories of many. An Air India flight, carrying hopes and dreams, crashed just short of Ahmedabad's runway. The aircraft, a symbol of modern engineering, was reduced to a mangled heap of metal. What was meant to be a routine journey, a simple connection between destinations, horrifyingly transformed into a national tragedy, leaving a scar on the nation's psyche. The scene was chaotic, with debris scattered across the landscape. First responders, the unsung heroes of our society, rushed against time to the wreckage, battling flames and navigating treacherous terrain in a desperate attempt to save lives. Ambulances wailed as they sped towards the site, their sirens cutting through the heavy silence that had fallen over the area. Meanwhile, families waiting anxiously at the airport, their hearts filled with anticipation, were soon confronted with the devastating news, their joy turning into unimaginable loss and despair. The airport waiting area became a scene of collective grief, with tears flowing freely and anguished cries echoing through the terminal. The aircraft involved was a modern marvel, meticulously maintained and regularly inspected, adhering to the highest safety standards. This fact made the crash even more perplexing and difficult to comprehend. Aviation experts and investigators swarmed the site, meticulously collecting evidence and piecing together the puzzle of what went wrong. Initial investigations revealed no sign of mechanical failure, deepening the mystery surrounding the crash. Every component of the aircraft was scrutinized, but nothing seemed out of place. As a result, attention quickly turned to the pilots, their training, their experience, and their decisions in those crucial final moments before impact. The flight recorder, also known as the black box, became a focal point of the investigation, holding the key to understanding the events that unfolded in the cockpit. This devastating tragedy shook public trust in air travel, leaving many questioning the safety and reliability of the aviation industry. The incident raised urgent questions about existing safety protocols, potential human error, and the need for enhanced safety measures to prevent similar accidents in the future. The investigation's findings have the potential to reshape pilot training programs, making them more rigorous and comprehensive. Cockpit procedures may also be revised and updated to incorporate lessons learned from this tragic event. Furthermore, the crash could lead to significant changes in global aviation regulations, impacting airlines and passengers worldwide. This is more than just a story about one ill-fated flight. It's a reflection on the complexities and challenges of modern aviation. Ultimately, it's about the unwavering and relentless pursuit of safer skies for each and every one of us, ensuring that air travel remains the safest mode of transportation. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, a massive search and recovery operation was launched. Amidst the debris field scattered across the landscape, investigators began the painstaking process of piecing together the puzzle of what went wrong. The search for answers, for some semblance of understanding, began with the flight recorders. These crucial devices, bright orange-black boxes designed to withstand immense impact and heat, held the key to unlocking the plane's final moments. They were the silent witnesses to the unfolding drama in the cockpit and the performance of the aircraft itself. The Flight Data Recorder, or FDR, meticulously logged hundreds of parameters throughout the flight. Upon initial analysis, the data showed the aircraft's systems were functioning within normal parameters. There were no immediate red flags, no glaring anomalies to explain the sudden and catastrophic event. Further examination of the FDR data confirmed that there was no mechanical failure. All critical components appeared to be operating as designed, leaving investigators searching for other potential causes. This eliminated a significant avenue of inquiry, forcing them to delve deeper into other possibilities. The cockpit voice recorder, or CVR, offered a different perspective, capturing the conversations and sounds within the flight deck. Initially, the recording revealed a calm and professional atmosphere. The pilots were going through their standard procedures, communicating clearly and efficiently. But as the recording progressed, the atmosphere began to shift. The calm professionalism gradually eroded until the final minutes, when tension rose palpably in the voices of the crew. The subtle changes in tone and inflection hinted at an increasing sense of urgency and concern. Investigators focused intently on a puzzling exchange between the captain and first officer, a brief but significant dialogue that seemed out of place. This exchange became a focal point, prompting intense scrutiny and debate among the investigators. What did it mean? What were they referring to? The absence of technical faults, coupled with the unsettling exchange on the CVR, shifted the spotlight to human factors. The investigation began to explore the cognitive and psychological aspects of the flight crew's performance. The focus narrowed to cockpit decision-making, examining how the pilots assessed the situation, communicated with each other, and ultimately made their choices in those critical moments. What were they seeing? What were they thinking? The black boxes, despite their seemingly straightforward data, presented a complex and nuanced picture. They made it clear the answers lay not solely in the plane's hardware, but in the pilots' choices, their reactions, and their interpretations of the unfolding events. The human element had taken center stage. This realization set the stage for a deeper and more intricate inquiry, one that would delve into the complexities of the human mind under pressure. The investigation expanded to include pilot psychology, examining stress responses, cognitive biases, and the effectiveness of emergency response training. What happened in those last minutes, the decisions made, the actions taken, would become the investigation's central mystery, a puzzle that demanded to be solved in order to prevent future tragedies. The world waited with bated breath for clarity, for answers that could explain the inexplicable. Knowing the outcome of this investigation could potentially change aviation forever, leading to new safety regulations, improved training protocols, and a greater understanding of the human factors involved in flight. The investigation now hinged on understanding the crew's mindset, their perceptions, and their thought processes in the face of the unfolding crisis. And ultimately, their actions, the choices they made that led to the tragic conclusion. One exchange on the cockpit recording stood out. The captain announced he would move the engine fuel switches to cut off, an action almost never taken in flight. The first officer, surprised, questioned the decision. Shutting off fuel midair, especially during landing, is highly irregular and dangerous. Investigators now had to determine why the captain made this call. Was it a response to an unseen threat, or a catastrophic misjudgment? With the engines off, a safe landing was nearly impossible. This moment marked the point of no return for the flight. The investigation zeroed in on this critical, deliberate action. Standard operating procedures are the backbone of aviation safety. The captain's decision to cut engine fuel was a stark deviation from these protocols. Pilots are trained to keep engines running unless there's a clear, dire emergency. Investigators found no evidence of such an emergency. The first officer's challenge reflected crew resource management. Pilots are taught to question unsafe decisions. Why wasn't the captain's action reversed? Understanding this cockpit dynamic is crucial for future training and safety. The investigation now focused on how and why protocol broke down. In the aftermath of the Ahmedabad incident, Air India's CEO stepped forward, acknowledging the intense focus on the actions and decisions made by the flight crew, particularly the pilots, during the critical moments leading up to the crash. He pledged the airline's full cooperation with the ongoing investigation, emphasizing a commitment to transparency and a desire to understand the root causes of the accident. This commitment extended to providing all necessary resources and information to the investigating authorities. The investigation, while encompassing technical aspects, quickly turned its attention to the human element, the cognitive processes, pressures, and factors influencing the pilot's behavior. The core question became, how do pilots make critical decisions under immense pressure, especially when faced with unexpected and rapidly evolving circumstances? What protocols were followed, and what might have deviated from standard operating procedures? Extensive training programs are designed to prepare flight crews for a wide range of potential emergencies, equipping them with the knowledge and skills to react effectively. However, the reality is that not every conceivable scenario can be perfectly anticipated or replicated in training exercises. Unexpected combinations of factors can create novel situations. As part of the investigation, experts meticulously examined the captain's background, scrutinizing flight logs, performance reviews, and any prior incident reports. Investigators delved into the pilot's training records, looking for strengths, weaknesses, and any areas where additional instruction might have been beneficial. They also considered possible stressors in the pilot's personal or professional life that could have affected performance. The ultimate goal was to understand what factors might have influenced the captain's judgment and decision-making process in those critical final moments before the crash. Understanding human error is a complex undertaking, requiring a nuanced approach. It's not simply about identifying that mistakes were made, but about thoroughly investigating why those mistakes happened, exploring the underlying causes, and contributing factors. The scope of the probe also extended to examining the airline's overall safety culture, assessing communication protocols, and evaluating the effectiveness of safety reporting systems. Furthermore, the investigation scrutinized regulatory oversight mechanisms, ensuring compliance with safety standards and identifying any potential gaps in the system. The investigation even considered the ergonomic aspects of cockpit design, evaluating how the layout of instruments and controls might have influenced the pilot's actions. By thoroughly understanding the why behind the accident, the aviation industry can implement targeted improvements to pilot training programs, enhance safety protocols, and refine aircraft systems to mitigate future risks. The Ahmedabad crash serves as a stark and tragic reminder that, even with the most advanced technology and sophisticated automation, the safety of air travel ultimately relies on the judgment and choices made by human pilots in the cockpit. The investigation's findings have the potential to drive significant changes across the aviation industry, leading to enhanced safety measures and preventing similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Accident investigations are meticulous, aiming to find causes, not blame. India's AAIB, with international experts, led the probe. Teams mapped the wreckage, analyzed damage, and examined every component. Parallel teams reviewed maintenance records, training, and crew interactions. All evidence was integrated to reconstruct the flight's final minutes. The process is painstaking, often taking months or years. The final report presents facts, analysis, and safety recommendations. Each step is designed to ensure no detail is overlooked. The Ahmedabad crash's lessons will ripple across global aviation. The industry shares safety standards and learns from every incident. The focus on human factors is both sobering and reassuring for passengers. The findings will likely enhance training, especially in judgment and communication. Crew resource management and emergency procedures will be re-examined worldwide. Simulator scenarios may become more complex to test pilot problem-solving. Every accident drives positive change, making air travel safer for all. The memory of those lost will help protect millions in the future. Preliminary findings are just the beginning. Investigators will continue analyzing wreckage, especially engines and cockpit controls. A psychological profile of the crew, especially the captain, will be developed. Training records and personal factors will be scrutinized for clues. Simulations will recreate the flight's final moments to test alternate outcomes. The final report will detail events, causes, and safety recommendations. All parties will review the draft before public release, ensuring transparency. The goal drive real improvements and prevent future accidents. For victims' families, the investigation offers answers and closure. The public's trust in aviation depends on transparency and accountability. Every passenger relies on a system built for safety. Media and public scrutiny ensure the investigation remains a priority. The public's concern drives airlines and regulators to exceed minimum standards. The Ahmedabad crash is a human story of loss, learning, and shared responsibility. Lessons from this tragedy will strengthen global aviation's safety net. Through investigation and shared learning, we honor the victims and protect future travelers.